We're driving a 2021 Subaru Outback. We moved to the mountains recently, so we are legally required to drive a Subaru Outback, or at least test it. Coming up, I'm going to tell you about a feature that is so super convoluted, it'll drive you mad, but you also might love it. It's a little like family life. But first, information explosion! Let us begin with interior. Hey lady, what do you think about the interior styling of the Subaru Outback?
It's trying harder than I thought it would. Like, I know this particular trim, but the bright green stitching, it's so, like, fun.
This is the Onyx XT, which adds a little bit of sassy style and a murdered out exterior like nobody says anymore. But yeah, the interior styling, those little bits of color do elevate what I think is a fine interior. I think it's sort of like a down the middle kind of vibe. But what I do like is that the material quality is actually pretty nice if you just go poking around. Oh. Feel free to poke, baby.
Yes, I am poking, I am prodding, I am rubbing.
Man!
And that's a quality interior.
Do you want to be alone with the interior for a while?
Maybe.
Let's talk about family friendliness though, because isn't that why we're here? There's a feature in here that both you and I will agree is super fantabulous, and we only think that because we are parents. You know what I'm talking about, baby.
Is it the flap down, what are those called?
Baby, this is why I'm the branding guy. The latch flap.
The latch flap.
Yeah, but they're completely obscured if you've got the flap up. But baby, if you want to...
Which is nice for those who don't have a family. You don't want to look at that.
No, you don't want to be reminded of all that obligation you've successfully avoided.
Yes.
But if you do have all that obligation, you just flip that flap and get latching. The other thing about the Outback is that its ride height is sort of in that sweet spot where it's like just high enough that if you're like an older person, it's easy to climb in, but it's low enough that if you're a little person like our daughter, it's easy to climb aboard.
And if you're a short person latching in a little person, it's easy to reach the seatbelt point.
Good point. Can I give you one complaint though about the interior?
Oh, please.
Rear seat vents. You have to buy at least the $33,000 limited trim to get rear seat vents. The rear seats recline, but unlike a lot of cars where they put the latch over your shoulder and it's a really awkward move, in here it's just right next to your hip. And so you just pull the thing and it angles back with ease.
There's a lot more dignity to that.
Yeah, and we need to find dignity wherever we can find it.
We're desperate for it.
One of the big positives of the Subaru Outback is cargo space because it's a wagon, though. For some reason, Subaru calls it an SUV because I think they know that people don't want a wagon, but man, this is very much a wagon. Anyway, back there's 32.5 cubic feet of space behind the second row, and I like that there are cargo releases back there so you can easily flip them without having to go around to the side. And if that's not enough space for you, you can go right up top. There are these standard roof rails with these cross members that just rotate out. You can't have an active lifestyle without bringing a bunch of crap with you. Subaru knows that. Turn it to the left. Needless full throttle acceleration. All-wheel drive power. Slowly, Micah Drives is going to transform into a musical format. Rear window test. All the way down.
Bye.
Armrest test. In an 8 and 4 cruising position, there's plenty of squish on the outside. That is a very, very squishy outboard armrest. I wish it was a little bit closer in for easier elbow access, but I think it works fine. In here, there's a phenomenon. I don't know if I've got a good branded name for it, but there's a thin layer of squish, but then there's something really hard underneath that. I just need a little bit more of that squish zone to really feel comfortable here. Generally pretty good though. I'm gonna go one full elbow to the vertical position on the outboard, and I'm gonna go maybe 3/4 up on the inboard. Hey, have you followed our channel? If you haven't, please do. At 100,000 subs, I'm gonna review a windowless white van. Style!
So I haven't really thought about a Subaru since my mom drove one in the 80s. I like the tail lights, how there's the piece that continues on the side that's kind of prominent. The continuation of the chrome onto the rear view mirror. There's a little bit of indentations around the wheel well.
This is an interesting moment because I feel like you were noticing things and details and wonderment that I am like, I don't know, it looks like a Subaru to me. I think it looks like what people would expect a Subaru Outback to look like, which is to say a lot like Generation 5, even though this is Generation 6. If you put them side by side and you squint it a little bit, you might not be able to tell which is which, but I think it's styled like it is meant to be styled. If you're curious what I'm driving or flying between YouTube videos, you can give me a follow over on Instagram. And if you're curious what our family is up to, give Abby a follow. In motion! The interior of the Subaru Outback is pretty darn quiet. We did something the other day where we started driving and then the left rear door wasn't quite closed, and I suspected that might be due to tight tolerance windowsills. Whatever that is, it's working pretty darn well. It's quiet in here, very comfortable ride. It feels like we're rolling through Vermont wherever we drive. It just feels like we need to have like gentle music. I could write a song, but I'm too lazy for that. Then again, the musical format would benefit from a little bit more songwriting. Driving round the corner at a moderate speed. La 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 la. Needless full throttle acceleration. The other thing about the Subaru Outback is that the windows are pretty big. There's a fairly large greenhouse, not Forester big, but pretty big. So when you look around, it's a pretty good view out. What do you think? Can you see? Can you see?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, me too.
Good, we can all see. When applied to windy mountain roads, I've noted that the Outback steers competently, but it's not like it's a thrill ride. I don't have a lot to say about steering. It steers just fine, but I do have a lot to say about powertrain. Buckle up, baby. It's gonna get pedantic. You've heard people complain about continuously variable transmissions before, and when they do that, they're talking about this. This is the Lineartronic CVT, and it's a gearless transmission, and what you put into the accelerator may not be what you get out from the powertrain. So when I apply the accelerator, nothing much happens. Revs rise, and then like there's some acceleration, and it's not consistent with its pull. I really don't like the CVT.
Maybe there's some other pedal you should be pushing.
That would be funny if
I
I
haven't discovered
inadvertently pushing like a third pedal. Yeah, we put a decoy pedal in for automotive journalists just to make them angry. I will counter all of that CVT-related ire with some praise, which is that we're driving the 2.4-liter turbocharged engine. And sweetie, can you tell me what a turbocharged engine is good for at altitude?
Is it because the air is less dense?
That is exactly right. The engine thinks it's still at sea level because the turbo's just cramming it with the same amount of air.
That's awesome.
Oh, I would be curious, though, to drive the base engine because it's less powerful. That plus the CVT, I bet that's a recipe for displeasure. A recipe for displeasure. I feel like that's my cookbook. You know what we ought to do, though? Have you drive. Sweetie's at the wheel. She's driving a Subaru. This is a rare opportunity because we're in a windy road condition.
Yeah.
You tell me, how do you feel? Do you feel confident steering around this bend?
I do, actually. I feel more confident than in my CR-V. I do kind of see what you are saying about the acceleration, and I am relatively unobservant about such things, so it's probably pretty egregious.
It's one of those things you never know if you'll get used to it or if it'll slowly drive you mad.
Well, I guess it depends on how particular you are. Particular, not particular.
Can I share one thing I'm noticing?
What?
Your upper back is not touching the seat.
Oh.
So you're kind of leaning forward, and I'm just wondering if you're trying to see above or if you have a visibility issue.
Yeah, you know what? I might be riding a little low, actually.
So, general take, what do you think? Are you pleased or displeased or neutral driving the Subaru Outback?
I'm ready to get to the fun.
Yeah! All right, Sweetie's had her mountain Outback adventure. In total, I think the Subaru Outback drives fine. Very quiet though, very comfortable. Moseying along, emotion factor. Sweetie, can a vehicle that has a utilitarian shape and function be emotional?
I think so, because the emotion is that it's taking you somewhere great.
Yeah, it's like the hot dog bun that's going to take you to the hot dog adventure.
Yes, I guess.
Onto which you will smother the mustard of familial bonding and
and relish the entire thing.
Yay, we did it! Metaphor complete. I hope you guys really liked our eloquent hot dog metaphor.
If so, tell us in the comments.
Hey, you're doing it now too. The only other thing I'll mention about emotion factor is that, yeah, your ability to go do things is kind of an integral part of the emotion factor of the Outback. And enabling that is standard all-wheel drive. You've got Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive system and 8.7 inches of ground clearance. So you can really go to those places where you can find that emotion. Sorry, where you can find that emotional hot dog.
There's a hot dog place.
Are you serious?
There is.
What? Oh man, we luck into stuff all the time. That's that Micah Muzio magic.
Hot dog place.
Yep, hot dog place. If you're feeling emotionally moved to buy a Subaru Outback of your own, check the Kelley Blue Book listing link in the description below. Remarks! I teased in the beginning of the video that there is a convoluted feature on this Outback that you might actually love. And here it is. To talk about it, me outside the car. Micah? Here's what's involved in activating the PIN code access function. Hold the lock button and then hold the button under here. Then I hit the unlock button while it's chirping. Now we're ready for the 5-digit code. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we enter 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, press it 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, press it 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that chirping lets you know you have to do all of that over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now I have to hit unlock. So I believe PIN code access has been activated. Now we have to deactivate the fob. Come with me to the driver door. So you have to manually lock this door, and then you hold the lock and the cargo hatch functions. Just kind of expecting a confirmation of some sort. Okay, so maybe. It's locked. It's just that easy. Now to unlock it, all we have to do is enter that code again by pressing the same button many times. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
In researching PIN code access, there are a few different variations depending on if you're pre-2017 or post-2017, but that is basically the formula for getting that to work. Good luck. When you see how many zany steps you have to go through to get that to work, doesn't it make Ford's keypad access with the actual numbers on it seem brilliant?
Seriously?
Mm-hmm, sure does. In terms of powertrain, we're driving the 2.0. Oh, God, accelerate! Oh!
What did you have to accelerate?
Well, there was a big Chevy pickup truck barreling down on us. But thankfully, we're driving the 2.4-liter turbocharged engine, which is in the higher Outback trims. In the lower trims, there's a base 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine. If you go with the base engine, you can only tow 2,700 pounds, but the turbo motor can do 3,500 if towing is the thing that you're interested in doing. Did you have a chance to play around with the infotainment system?
I did. I really liked how easy it was to adjust the functionality of the active safety features. Like you could get as granular as 3 different volume levels on some of the alerts.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of cars have those features, but they're hidden beneath so many layers of menus that they're really hard to uncover.
It was so easy, even I found it.
Wow. One of the things I was curious about, we dislike pure screens oftentimes. Did you find an acceptable amount of physical buttons versus screen real estate?
I did. I think I would still have to look at it in order to find my way around, but the icons are so big.
Yeah, they're super big and vivid, like you can mash it. Like if I wanted to pull up CarPlay, I can just punch it. It worked!
You punched it, baby.
I'm just gonna pull over next to this either 5th or 6th gen Subaru Outback to let this big pickup truck get out of the way. I have no idea what generation that is. The Outback we're driving has the optional 11.6-inch screen, but the base setup are two 7-inch screens, kind of like Acura used to have. And I'm not usually a fan of that divided screen setup, but this one doesn't have that, and I haven't actually used it, so I'm going to refrain from opining. Where I will opine is that there's an optional 180-degree front camera system that you can activate with a physical button. There's a dedicated button here, so you know sometimes like you're pulling into a place and you're not quite sure like what the dimensions are, and you want to see that, you can just mash that and it'll pull it up, assuming you're going at correct speed. Can I tell you what I dislike about it?
Yes, please.
Here goes. It's a very low-res camera.
Oh, yeah.
It's low-res enough that it's not just like, oh, it would look prettier if it was more vivid. It's like, I'm kind of not sure what I'm looking at.
Like, is that a post or a small child?
Yeah, no, here, I'll show you. Pushing the thing there, and...
Yeah, that's
Right?
difficult to see.
With how cheap cameras are, there's really no reason why that should look so awful. Sweet. So look at the screen, go to the top, tell me what you see.
X mode.
X mode! You got 2-mode X mode here. X mode just changes vehicle settings like CVT behavior, accelerator behavior, that kind of stuff, stability control, for better making your way through those things. Some drive modes, but they call it X mode. Which to me feels kind of like a naughty name.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, that's triple X mode.
Yeah, this is merely double X mode.
Can it go fast and take the top off?
Nope, it cannot take the top off, and it doesn't go that fast. But here, I'll go as fast as I can. Is this exciting? That's it. Oh, wait, there's that uneven acceleration.
This is so fast.
Fast enough to impress a 5-year-old. That's pretty good. I have a weird observation. There's one feature in here that is missing that you can find on the cheaper limited trim. Do you know what it is?
I have no idea.
Memory seats. It's so weird. And when you've got two drivers going back and forth, it's nice to have a memory function, and it's just a little weird. I was looking around, I was like, am I just stupid? The answer is yes. But also, I couldn't find the feature that it seems like it should obviously be in here, but no, you have to get the limited or the top trim to get those memory seats. Not in the Onyx XT. So you can't get this cool stitching and memory seats in the same car.
Well, shoot.
Competitors for the Outback include things like the Nissan Murano, Honda Passports, the Chevy Blazer would be another one. One interesting one, the Buick Regal Tour X, which they stopped making, but it sold so poorly that you might be able to find a new 2020 model somewhere on a dealer lot. So if you want something with a wagon aesthetic and you want to get it super cheap, I'll bet you could buy a Regal Tour X if you just look around a little bit.
I do love a cheap car.
Oh, really? I'm getting a Bronco? Hypocrite! Hypocrite!
I know!
I don't know if you can buy a Subaru now that does not include Subaru's EyeSight active suite of driver assist. You see these two little pods up here? These are cameras, and the system uses its stereoscopic vision to read the road ahead and provide active driver assist like automatic distance maintenance between you and the vehicle ahead when you've got cruise control going, or lane keeping assist. It sees the lanes. Oh, here, let's see if it works. Yep, the system works. Gave a little beep, steered us back in. It's a neat system, and I like that it's standard. Hey, did we miss any remarks? If we did, tell us in the comment section. Label them remarks. Get in on the game. Synopsis! You know, there's no reason to put effort in when we've already got the right solution. When I think about the essence of the Subaru Outback, it is a conveyance that facilitates enjoyment of other things.
It's the hot dog bun.
Of wagons that aren't wagons.
Of secret wagons.
Secret wagon. Do you have a better synopsis? If so, tell us in the comment section. Remember,
It even looks like a hot dog bun.
yeah, it even looks like a hot dog bun. Yeah, if it's hot dog bun, don't say that. We already got it. If you'd like to see what we're doing between YouTube videos, give me a follow over on Instagram. If he's always doing things with our family, I'm part of that too. If you want to see what that looks like, follow her over on Instagram. If you'd like to see more of this kind of thing, feel free to subscribe. I think that was a reasonably successful jaunt through the forest in our Subaru Outback.
Yes.
Hey, little one, can I have a high five? Yay! High five. And you, come get your high five. Ugh.